guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to achieve this look. I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit more about my journey with MAC, my lipstick, all that good stuff. Just to let you guys know, this video is sponsored. Probably going to come to that conclusion ourselves. I have a lipstick with them. It's a thing. Anyways, if you guys are not cool with that, now's the time to click away. Also, if you guys are in the Vancouver area or near the Vancouver area and you want to travel to Vancouver, I will be doing a meet and greet at Robson this Saturday, the 22nd from 3 to 5, and you'll also be able to pick up my lipstick in store. If you aren't able to come by that day, it is available online exclusively in Canada. If you're from anywhere else in the world and you're freaking out right now because you can't grab the lipstick, go to my Twitter. I'm trying to match up as many Canadians as I possibly can with other people so that hopefully we can get some Canadians shipping the lipstick out to you. So go check that out. Let's get on with the look. Alright, so I'm going to be starting out with my base. The first thing that I'm going to be applying is the lip conditioner from MAC in the little tube. Do you guys remember when this came in a pot? Because I liked the pot a lot, and then they discontinued it, as all brands do with my favorite products. It's fine. I don't hold a grudge about it. Next I'm going to be applying Strobe Cream just underneath my foundation, look a little bit more glowy, get a nice moisturizing base going, you know what I mean? I feel like now would be an appropriate time to talk to you about my MAC journey. Quickly before we jump into story time, you guys know I've been kind of digging doing a lighter coverage foundation lately, and MAC came out with a next to nothing foundation, so I got two obviously so I could mix them. So I picked up this morning Light Plus and Medium. This is supposed to be really kind of like more light coverage, really dewy, right up my alley. So I'm going to be trying it for the first time today. I think I'm just going to mix like 50-50 of those and just see how it goes, see how I like it. And I think I'm going to apply it with a sponge. Actually, I'm going to apply it with a brush first and then go with a sponge. We'll see. We'll see what I like. So, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I used to live in a town called Kelowna, and it's kind of a smaller city. We didn't have a Sephora or anything like that at the time that I lived there. So basically the only thing we had was like drugstore and then MAC. So I started getting into makeup when I was like 15-ish. And I just remember that I would go to MAC and buy like one thing at a time because it was all I could ever afford. And an eyeshadow would cost $19.04 at the time. And so my dad would give me like $20 to go to the mall kind of thing. And I would go and buy one eyeshadow. And then for Christmases and stuff like that, I would just get basically MAC gift cards and I would go in and do my little haul, and it was like the best thing ever to me. Now I'm going to go in with a little beauty blender here and add a little bit more coverage in certain areas and then just blend out where I need to extra. So obviously, being that this was really like the only kind of like makeup store in Kelowna, I became super obsessive with MAC. I had this idea in my mind that like I was going to work for them for the rest of my life, and that's basically what I started to try to pursue. I went to makeup school 2 weeks after I graduated high school, and then I had been going to school for a little bit, and then I went and applied at MAC. Most nerve-wracking shit of my life. I don't know if you guys have ever tried to apply for MAC or if you currently work for MAC. I feel like you could relate. They have like 8,000 interviews, and one of the interviews is you doing makeup on somebody else while somebody like watches you do it basically, and they'll ask you questions throughout, and it's like, and they're seeing how you're interacting with the customer and all this kind of stuff. It was just so nerve-wracking, and I was like a kid basically, but I ended up getting the job, and I worked at MAC on and off for 2 years just as like a seasonal employee, and I literally thought I was going to work there for the rest of my life. Like, to me, it was funny because I felt like as a consumer, I just loved the brand so much, and then when I started working for them, I somehow became even more obsessive. And you know how there's just like people that just seem so much invested into the brand? I just feel like you can't not if you work for them, because like their training process and everything, it just is so immersive, if that makes sense. So anyways, thus strengthened my attachment to MAC. I'm just going in with a little bit of concealer and blending that out. I'm really liking that foundation. I feel like it's just kind of like what I've been looking for in a foundation lately. It's nice and dewy. It's not too full coverage. It doesn't have too much coverage to it, but it still kind of evens out your skin tone nicely. And I like that it doesn't seem to be settling into my skin anywhere. Sometimes I find that foundations that are meant to be really, really dewy make your skin look super, super textured. I had that problem with the, oh my god, what was that foundation? Oh, the Josie Marin Vibrancy Foundation. Jaclyn Hill, you strongly misled me. I think that that foundation in particular only works if you have already flawless skin, like the kind of skin where it's like, why do you wear foundation exactly? But it doesn't look so dewy that it's calling attention to any extra texture. When I put a little bit on my hand in the store, I felt like it looked like very, very, very luminous, like almost like a moisturizer kind of thing. But when it's applied on the skin, it actually looks quite a bit more natural than I would have assumed. So I'm digging it so far. I'm interested to see how it holds up throughout the day. I'll let you guys know my thoughts on Snapchat, since I use that now. So I'm just applying a little bit of eye primer, and then I'm going to go over top with a base shadow after, just something that matches my skin tone. Anyways, back to my MAC history here. Basically, I just was so obsessed with the brand from a young age, started working for them, became even more obsessed with them, and it was just kind of this thing for a long time for me. Obviously, I didn't end up working for MAC forever, much to my chagrin at the time. I think everything worked out anyways. It's just been such an interesting progression for me because I just feel like this was a brand that I was so connected to for so long, and I just had such kind of admiration for, just in so many different ways with so many different things that they do and how they choose to go about things, and just I felt so immersed in the kind of culture of this brand. At the time that they approached me to do this lipstick with them, it just felt like everything in my life, not to sound super dramatic, but it just felt like honestly everything in my life was kind of like coming full circle, and it kind of helped me to recognize how far I really have come, which was just such a cool experience for me, and it was such a good moment. It was just one of those times where I was able to just take a step back and be like, shit, this is kind of happening, isn't it? I'm gonna go in and start filling in my eyebrows with Fling from MAC. You have no idea how many of these eyebrow pencils I've gone through in my lifetime. I just remember being so dirt poor, and these cost like 20 bucks or something like that, and I just remember being so broke, and I would run through them so fast because obviously I would paint on like the biggest eyebrows ever with this, and then I would be like, holy shit, I have to go pick up another one of those, and that's another $20, and I was like, I don't know if I can swing it this month. I'm just going to start with my arches and just kind of slowly fill in the tail ends, and I think I want to leave the front a little bit more natural, as I've been doing lately. I'm so lame now. Anyways, back to my cheesy, long-winded story. I just feel like I've really gotten the chance to just even look at my life and how far it's come, because I remember, you know, when I was working in retail makeup and stuff like that and at MAC, and I just was like wanting to move up the ladder in some way, and I felt like I just didn't know how that was going to happen for me. It was just kind of a difficult time because I just felt like I was so young and I wanted so badly to be on this pathway to what my end career was going to be, and even though I was in makeup and I kind of knew sort of what I was doing, I didn't feel like I knew what the end goal was or what, you know, it was going to become, and I just didn't understand how I was going to get to the point where like I could pay my bills and you know, like on top of that be able to save money and, you know, just all these kinds of things, and like how was I going to make more of a dent than what I was doing just working in retail and stuff like that. And so it was just such a frustrating time, and I feel like now I'm just able to really look at that and be like, wow, like it's just come so far and it's such a good feeling. And it's funny because like I feel like this whole time I've been so caught up in just doing things and moving forward that I haven't really taken the opportunity to just actually look at how much I've been able to build with you guys and the opportunities that's brought me and just all these kinds of things. So this has been just kind of a really good experience to just basically recognize how far I've come. Also, here's a fun story. One of my first ever shifts at MAC, there was a bottle of Turquotic, which is their fragrance, and I was closing on one of my first shifts, and I was like mopping the floor, and I accidentally shattered this full bottle of perfume on the floor, and it literally stank for a week in there. It was so bad. It was like mortifying. I was like, what? How? Oh my god, like what have I done? It was just horrible. Oh my god, it was the worst. I was so embarrassed. And I already felt uncomfortable because like everyone that works there like looks so cool and they're intimidating and scary, and so I was like, oh god, what have I done? This chicken also just finished telling me how everybody hates doing the floors, and then she was like, you can do the floors. And so I was like, is she literally just gonna think that I'm like angsty because she made me do the floors? Anyways, whatever. Okay, let's move on to eyes. Okay, so for my eyes, I wanted to do something kind of more in the vein of what I would have done at the time that I was working at MAC, just for funsies. I did like a little bit more of a dramatic makeup for a while there, and it's probably something that's more to the vein of what you guys would have seen me wearing a lot when you first started following. So I'm going to take kind of a little bit of a cool toned brown color. That's the first difference you'll note. I used to be really into cool tones. And then I'm going to take a bigger brush with a slightly warmer color and just kind of go through and blend that out. I'm going to be bringing it pretty far into my inner corner. As time has gone on, I focused more and more on the outer corner, but when I first started doing makeup, I really liked more dramatic makeup, and especially creases that kind of went all the way into the inner corner. Okay, so we're going to be dipping into this good old... This is pure white Duraline. You can get it at the pro stores only, I believe, and this is like getting to the point where I cannot use it anymore, but we're going to use it today. I'm taking that just on a little shader brush, and I'm going to apply it right to the lid. And I'm just gonna use my finger to kind of blend over top of it, because we don't need it to be at full intensity. And then I'm gonna take a little tiny shader brush, and I'm just going to really define that outer corner with a little bit more of that white. I used to really like leaving kind of a gap between my liner and my eyeshadow, and I thought that I actually invented that look, to be quite honest. I'm also going to take this shader brush with the white and I'm going to put it in my lower lash line. This was around that time where this was like a big YouTube tip to put white in your waterline, and I don't think I had a single customer leave my store without me relaying that tip to them, regardless of age, skin tone, anything. I was just like, white liner is, it's what you need. And then I'm going to go over top of that with just a bone colored shadow, not something that's pure white, so to speak, just because I don't want it to be too stark. I just want it to be pretty stark, not quite Rob Stark, just like a Jon Snow, you know? Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and apply a winged eyeliner. There is not a day from basically age 15 until about, gosh, 2 months ago where I didn't wear winged eyeliner. It was kind of just one of those things where I did it and I was like, yep, this is the look for me. There's really no point in trying anything else out because I've found it. You can see I'm just leaving a little bit of a gap of that white, and I can also go back in with that white if I need to kind of redefine it. I'm going to quickly go over this liner with a liquid liner, and we'll carry on. Okay, so again, just taking a nice cool tone shadow under my lower lash line. I'm going to take a slightly lighter color, and I'm just going to blend over top of that to make it nice and smoky. Okay, so I just quickly popped on some lashes, and now I'm going to go ahead and move on with my mascara. I'm going to be using False Lashes, which is my second favorite mascara. When MAC was asking me some of my favorite products, I was just giving them a list of basically all the things that I either currently use or were my favorites at the time and stuff like that. And one of the things that I told them was Plush Lash, and they were like, that doesn't exist anymore. It was devastating. I can't even remember how long ago it was that I last used that mascara, but I really loved it. I can't even remember what I loved about it so much. I just did. But anyways, this is also one of my favorite mascaras. I just always really, really loved the brush. I liked that it was super small on the inner corner, so you can kind of get in to your lashes right near that inner corner. So that is the final eye look. Okay, so I already applied a little bit of my contour. Now I'm going to go in with my blush. I'm going to be using the new Extra Dimension blush in Hushed Tone. Let me talk about my first ever heartbreak. There was a blush from MAC called Warm Soul. Still there, some may say. It was really one of the first blushes that I started to kind of fall in love with. And I recommended this blush like backwards and forwards to people because I just loved it so much. I just felt like it was so perfect. It was It had like a little bit of shimmer to it. It was warm toned. It was just like so beautiful. And I just felt like it made your skin look so nice and kind of like youthful and glowy. And I just was like, man, there cannot be a better blush. And so I bought this blush several times, and I used to just run through it like crazy. They changed the formula, man. And I was devastated. So now it's just a little bit of a different color, and it's a little bit more of a chunky glitter. It's just not what it used to be back in the good old days. I'll never get over it. Anyways, it's fine. Moving on, I'm gonna be applying cream color base in Shell. This was always one of my faves. And I'm just going to be rubbing my finger right in there, and I'm going to just tap that onto my cheeks and everywhere else on my body. I'm also gonna put a little bit of that just on my Cupid's bow. And I also used to apply this super strong down the center of my nose, so why the heck not? I don't think I can bring myself to apply it quite as strongly as I used to, but we'll do a little something something. I'll keep this short. But this is truly one of the coolest things I've ever gotten the opportunity to do. I feel endlessly grateful to you guys, to Mac, to my whole journey, everything that happened from being 15 until now. Having this in my hands is the weirdest thing. I can't believe it. There it is, man. Let me go clip in my hair extensions and look fancy for you. So that is everything, you guys. This is the final look for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for all your support that led to this. And I hope to meet you guys this Saturday at Mac Robson. Alright guys, peace out.